So I wanted to make a video talking about my experience at the US Open, kind of what I did for my job, the things I liked about it, stuff like that. So I was at the US Open in Queens for 2.5 weeks, in August, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. So what I started out doing was in my job, I came in, met my coworkers who were all super nice people, super fantastic, workers, like helpful people. Um, so I met them, hung out with them, got breakfast. Um, an interesting thing is we got, I think it was $70 a day on our credentials. So we basically had $70 of free food to use on the complex or in the employee dining hall every day, which was fantastic. But anyways, when I got to the actual work part, in the beginning we were doing before the tournament actually started, we were doing a lot of putting tables into rooms, putting chairs into rooms, getting broadcast equipment, cameras, um like the bags that you put the equipment in, bringing them into rooms. So it was a lot of pushing, lifting stuff around. But then once it got into, I think it was the second and third day, mainly second day, there was a lot more chill time because me and my coworkers, we got a lot of stuff done, early on, and so we had this place called the PA pod, and that's basically where any of the production assistants could go. We could relax for a little bit or whatever. And I remember on the second day of work, we were in the PA pod for a bit, and we just were laughing like for an hour straight. It was a great time. And it was really good to connect with everybody there. And then there was some more stuff where we had to sometimes, um when asked to, move more stuff into like rooms or move things from one room to another. Um and we started to do like lunch and dinner orders, delivering those to people on the broadcast crews, whether it was with US Open Plus or with the USTA networks. We didn't do ESPN because ESPN has their own production assistants, but we did everybody who was under the USTA organization, working broadcast wise. We would deliver lunch and dinners to them every day, or almost every day, especially during the games. And so then when the games started, that's when things got kind of crazy, kind of hectic. We would get um lunch, dinner orders, I think even sometimes breakfast orders, but not always. But we would also get coffee orders from this place called Lavazza, which is basically like if you think of the Disney's coffee place. I'm sorry, I can't think of it right now. But the US Open's coffee place is Lavazza. And so we would go to like the Lavazza shops with whoever's uh credential that we would need to scan to get the coffee for, and we would get them their coffee that way. Sometimes we even actually in the broadcast building we had kitchenettes. We had two kitchenettes, so there was an upstairs one and a downstairs one, and depending on whether the person wanted the coffee from Lavazza or from just a kitchenette, just something simple, um, we would get the coffee from either of those. Another thing for games was if we needed to bring paper or like anything like office supplies wise to people in production, either in lower broadcast, which was like the people doing the production work for the actual stadiums, or bringing, sheets or logs or whatever to the actual broadcast trucks. That's something that we did um during the games especially. And so once the game started, like it was, um I would say I was constantly doing stuff, but I mean I loved it. I loved going around like the entire complex, meeting all the different people, both in like production, broadcasting, radio, um, and just getting to know the complex and getting to see parts of it that I never saw before. Because to be honest, when I came to the US Open, I never went to the US Open before. I was never at that complex before, so it was all new to me. And to be honest, it was really overwhelming at first. But then once I started doing like the lunch and dinner orders, once I started to do the supplies deliveries around the campus, that's when I really got it down and I basically have the place memorized now. So I'm like, yeah, it was an awesome experience. And then um I don't know exactly how much information I can give out, but my hotel was nice, I'll say that. The Flushing area has a lot of great tea shops. Especially I think it's called the Flushing Tea House or the um I think it's the Flushing Tea House. But they had a really good matcha. And sometimes after my shifts, because my game shifts were usually 11 to 9, um, I would go to the Flushing Tea House since they open at night and get like a matcha with like a lava cake, which was fantastic. Um, the food at the US Open itself in the employee dining hall, it was fantastic. They had a really good grilled cheese, they had really good chicken wings, they had a smash burger that was fantastic. Um, and then food wise, actually on the complex, I would say Lavazza was one of my favorite things, but I also um there were some really good like gelato and ice cream places. I don't exactly remember the gelato places what they were called, but they have stands kind of scattered over the complex, which were good, and I had a Dubai chocolate excuse me, gelato through them, which was very good. And then Van Leeuwen, I think that's what it's called. They had a fantastic shake collection. Me and my coworkers would get those, and it was just super good. So yeah, overall, really good experience. Really glad that I met the people I met there because they're all amazing. Um, and you know, living in Flushing for 2.5 weeks has always been actually just basically living in Flushing in general has always been a dream of mine because I'm a huge Mets fan and basically have always been. And to live there for 2.5 weeks, to get to, drive by Citi Field every day. Um, I even went to a Mets game, like going to a game by myself for the first time. It was so cool. Um, and I mean, there's definitely some things in Flushing that I think could be improved, but for the most part, I loved it because it's safe for the most part. It's chill. People are nice, and you know, y- you can kind of just do your own thing and be fine. At least in my opinion, that's what happened with me. And I feel like most people. So yeah, but if you guys have any questions about what it's like to work at the US Open, what it's like to be a production assistant at the US Open, send them my way. Um, I'll answer as quick as I can, and I hope to be back next year. So yeah, I got this new shirt today. I would show you the back, but I'm kind of in a position where I can't. So, um, I'll probably do another video on that. But yeah, have a good one, you guys.